What is up, you guys? It's your boy Shady Luke back with another video. And, I thought we'd do a little bit of an interesting video and go top 10 head coaches that I think could be on the hot seat or things just aren't looking good for them going into this season. And at the end of the season, the outcome could possibly be possibly firing or it's red hot for them. So, I always hate to see head coaches get fired. Some good head coaches go on to get coordinating jobs, so it's not like they lose. It's not like they're not coaching anymore, you know what I mean? Like, they still have the option to coach. You never want to see that. But unfortunately, in this league, there's some turnover, and some guys just don't work out. Even guys that have been there forever, you know what I mean? So some of the names on this list might surprise you. Just hear me out. Anyways, all right. So the first one, this is a big one. John Harbaugh. Hear me out. John Harbaugh has been such a great head coach for the Baltimore Ravens, right? So much stability there, from Joe Flacco to Lamar Jackson. And right now with Lamar Jackson, they are a team that is always in contention to be one of the best in the AFC, right? They have an elite quarterback with Lamar Jackson, and these past 2 to 3 years, they have been in talks to go to the Super Bowl. But they can't finish. They can't finish. They get in the playoffs against the Bills, the Chiefs, and for whatever reason, man, they just fold. And it doesn't make any sense. Like this last year, I honestly thought that the Bills or Baltimore was going to beat out the Chiefs, because I was like, the Chiefs ain't that type of team this year. But it didn't happen. And I mean, we saw Lamar against the Bills. It was three bad quarters of football, one good quarter of football. And there's lots of talk with Lamar in the playoffs. I think it's part of the coaching. I don't think you can directly blame John Harbaugh, because I think John Harbaugh is an elite coach, make no question. But if you keep getting held up by Kansas City and Buffalo, dude, at some point it's like, what are we doing? Like, we can't get past these guys. So I got John Harbaugh as number one. And it's not like most likely to be fired to lead. No, I'm just going off a list. Second, I have Raheem Morris. And Raheem Morris, man, I tried to be positive with Atlanta. And this last season, things didn't really go the best for them. I mean, it was weird. You had Kirk Cousins out there, and they signed Kirk Cousins for a lot of money. Then they ended up drafting Penix. Even people were like, what is going on here? And for a fact that, like, obviously, I'm assuming management had something to do with it, but he also had something to do with it, would be my guess. A lot of question marks there. Their team, they had a couple solid wins, but it was a mess all around. Like, it didn't look good. You get like, I think it was even before the halfway point of the season, and just some questionable calls on his end and timeouts and just weird stuff happening, and it was just too consistent. And there's a lot of people that are like, this dude doesn't know what he's doing. So I have Raheem Morris as number two, and I mean, their management, he's an old dude. I can see him getting pretty impatient, especially this year as he's getting older. So we'll have to see. Number three, I got Mike McDaniel. Mike McDaniel, man, it's tough, because when he went into being a head coach for the Miami Dolphins, there was so much talk about him, and people were hyping him up because he just came off the Shanahan tree. I wasn't buying it, though. I wasn't buying it at all. I was like, dude, this dude's overrated. But early on, I was like, dude, he's a smart offensive mind. Like, he's a smart dude. I really like his play calling. And then that cheat motion that he uses with Tyreek and Jalen Waddle. Come on now. Like, why aren't other offense coordinators using that? But as we've seen, there's a lot of kind of weird things going on with Miami. They haven't been the most consistent. Had some injuries. But the weird thing is that you're hearing this stuff with some of the players, like, not respecting Mike McDaniel and the coaching staff. And for whatever reason, man, I just don't think that Miami under Mike McDaniel is built to go into these tough games against these other tough AFC teams. I just don't see it. And like the playoffs, what was it, 1 or 2 years ago when they went up against the Chiefs and it was super cold, bro. I knew they were gonna get smoked in that game. I just knew it wasn't gonna work out, and we saw how it played out. So we'll see if Mike McDaniel could get back on track this year. But right now, there's a lot of chatter. There's a lot of chatter. Next, dude, I got Brian Daboll. And Brian Daboll, dude, he came in so hot and had so much hype, and then things just took a nosedive. And I mean, part of it is Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes, I know you like that, Giants fans. Danny Dimes just kind of not playing the best. Getting rid of Saquon, giving them to my birds. Yeah. But best thing ever, dude. I'll never let Giants fans live that down. And just a couple other things. And I know that was the GM, Morley. They just didn't want to pay him. But no, man. I mean, the Giants have some really good defensive players, and they got, they got Malik Neighbors, but their offense just doesn't look like the crazy explosive guy that came from Buffalo helping Josh Allen. So you just hope that the ball can get back on track. But I'd say it's really tough with just the atmosphere of the NFC East right now. You just have the Eagles coming off a Super Bowl. You got the Washington Commanders coming off of being in the conference championship in the NFC with the Eagles. And you can expect the Cowboys to be better. They have a new head coach who I don't have a lot of faith in. But they still have a good roster, and things could be tough in the NFC East. And with that management and the owner, I know that owner's going to get impatient. So Brian Daboll along with the GM could be outski. Next I got Shane Steichen. And this hurts me to say, man, because I love Shane Steichen. I think he's such a creative mind, and I just feel like he's one of those head coaches where he's maybe a better play caller than he is a head coach. It just ain't his thing, and things have kind of been crazy. I mean, if you draft a young QB like Anthony Richardson that high and things don't work out, things can get crazy. I mean, you have the owner passing away, and you have his kids taking over. It's Jim Irsay. You can say what you want to say about him, but he did obviously seem to care about the fans. He really did. I don't care what anybody says, dude. He did seem. There's a lot of stuff people would say about him as an owner, kind of some crazy stuff. But dude, he seemed like he cared about the franchise. And now you have his kids taking over, and you just don't know. You have a GM and a coach that were linked up, and now they have a young QB who's looking like it might not work out. Hopefully it works out for Anthony Richardson, but right now it's not looking good. You got Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones might just save Shane Steichen's job. If he can just play solid, Shane Steichen might not be on the list. But as of now, Shane Steichen is on the list, and it's not looking the best right now. And the next, I got Kevin Stefanski. Kevin Stefanski, man, it's rough because it's a Cleveland thing. I do not think that Kevin Stefanski is a bad head coach. I don't. If you watch Cleveland Brown games, he coaches tough, and that team is very gritty. I've seen them over the years go up against teams that are clearly better than them, and they play tough. And I think it speaks to him as a coach. Unfortunately, in Cleveland, the turnover rate for head coaches is so high, and the owner of the team just not one of the more high-end owners. And honestly, like between the GM and the head coach, not a bad combo. The owner, you just don't know what you're getting with them. And with Cleveland, it's just kind of a mess right now. The quarterback situation, that's the biggest thing on the team, is a mess. And it could get him fired. You just hope that one of those young guys emerges. But for right now, it's not looking the best for Kevin Stefanski. Next guy I got, Zach Taylor. Zach Taylor, the guy who was just in the Super Bowl. We've been seeing a lot of dysfunction with Cincinnati's front office. I mean, with the rookie holding out, wanting more guaranteed money. And I mean, it just don't look good for them. It doesn't look good. Um, they have star pass rusher. Why am I forgetting his name? Why am I forgetting his name right now? Um, he's like holding out, and why am I forgetting his name right now? Cincinnati pass rusher. Why am I forgetting his name, guys? Trey Hendrickson. I know this. I know this. But Trey Hendrickson, that situation, and I get it. He's an older player. You don't know about paying him. But I mean, come on, man. Joe Burrow's contract was the only thing that got done, and it wasn't a big deal. Smart on their end. But I mean, it was a whole thing with Jamar. It was a whole thing with T. Higgins. And they just ended up paying him. I don't understand all the drama. Just get it done, man. Just get it done. So they've had a ton of drama, but just as in coaching, is it just me, or does it seem like Joe Burrow's doing it all on his own? Like, he has his 2 wide receivers, and he's just doing it all on his own. Luckily, they had Chase Brown this last year step up, so now they have a good running back since Mixon's been gone. But it just feels, I don't know. Joe Burrow is an elite quarterback. I view him, I honestly thought that he should have won MVP, but I feel like he's doing it all on his own. Now, Lou Anarumo is out. I think he went to Indy, if I remember right. So now they bring in somebody new, and Zach is still there. So shit better be right, because if Cincinnati gets off to a slow start, they don't make the playoffs, things look pretty bad. There's dysfunction in their owner and management. I could see them getting rid of Zach Taylor. It would not shock me in the slightest. Next guy I got, Dave Canales. Carolina Panthers. Man, this is hard because Bryce Young really stepped it up in this last of the year. Like the last 5 or 6 games, he was balling. He was playing really good against some of the best of them. He should have beat my Birds. He played good against Kansas City. He was playing so good, dude. I think that Carolina is on the rise. They should be. But if things, if Bryce Young, that kind of turn up that he had, if it's just meh, things aren't looking good, they're losing a ton of games. New management, new owner. It's a possibility it could get fired. You just never know with those new owners. Like, I don't feel like he's been an owner long enough for us to get a feel kind of what type of guy he is. Doesn't seem like a football guy in my opinion, but he is a new owner. I'll give him that. But it's just tough with Carolina. I'd hope that their offense, I'm pulling for Bryce Young. I do think he's going to be better. But in the case that he's not, yeah, it starts with the quarterback. If things aren't going good, I could see management saying, this ain't working out. But then again, like I said, I don't know that management. So it just kind of all depends on the unknown, Yeah, anyway, so next guy, big name. Don't get mad at me, all right? This just kind of ties back to another big coach earlier, Sean McDermott. Sean McDermott is really great head coach. I put him in the kind of elite tier. But the thing is, I know it's crazy for me to say that name, Sean McDermott. Like, bro, he ain't going to be on the hot seat. If you can't get past Kansas City, and this is just a continuous every single year you get bounced by Kansas City, why would you not need change? And I got to applaud him because there's been these last couple seasons, people going into this last season, people didn't think that the Bills, they were just kind of like, they could be good. They could be that. They were better than we thought. But if they lost to Kansas City again, when does it ever end? Like I remember with Cincinnati, Marvin Lewis, dude, he was always getting into the playoffs. Nothing would happen. That's the same vibe I get with Sean McDermott. You have an elite quarterback in Josh Allen. Okay? So that kind of, you literally have an elite quarterback. You have one of the 3 to 4 elite quarterbacks in the NFL. You keep getting bounced in the playoffs. This is my biggest thing with the Bills. They've gotten bounced by Kansas City so many times. At some point, it has to end. You have to get over that hump. If they get bounced by Kansas City again, I do see him being on the hot seat. I don't care what anybody says. Even if he's not on the hot seat, I think the fans are going to start to get fed up with it. I can see the fans being like, this shit just ain't working out. So yeah, I got Sean McDermott. And the last guy I got is Brian Schottenheimer. And the reason I have Brian Schottenheimer is, let's be real, look at what we see with Dallas right now. They're just literally beefing with Micah Parsons. Literally a star pass rusher. I don't care what anybody has to say about Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is an elite pass rusher, and he needs to be paid. And he should be paid. I've heard Jerry talk about, oh, this and that. He's been hurt here and there. Dude, just pay him. There's just so much going on there. And I know Jerry likes head coaches that he can sit under his thumb. But, man, they pushed out Mike McCarthy. And Mike McCarthy, it sounded like it was somewhat both ends. But if he's not good, I could see Jerry and Steven just being like, you know what? Let's find somebody else. We can find a better head coach. So, if he's better than I expect, I'll be shocked. But I just know I've been hearing people talking. It didn't really sound like Brian Schottenheimer is going to be hired as a head coach from anybody. It just sounded like it was a guy the Jones family liked, so they hired. And we know how crazy things can get in Dallas. So if Brian Schottenheimer and the Cowboys go out and lay an egg, he could be on the Yowski. So yeah, man, those are my top 10 head coaches I think could be on the hot seat, or it could be heating up for them. That's just the way I view it. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know if you think I'm crazy for putting a couple head coaches on here, or let me know if you think I'm on point with some of that shit. But anyways, guys, drop a like and be sure to subscribe to your boy, because all we do here is talk football content and drop dope football content. And be sure to let me know in the comments. I'm gonna say this every single video. Be sure to let me know if you want me to do a review on a player or some type of subject. I can crank out a video. Give me ideas. Help your boy out. Anyways, guys, I appreciate you watching. Thank you so much, and I'll catch you on the next one. Deuces.
You good? Yeah, let's go.